There's sand stuck to designer shoes and the Miami night stings more than the ocean air ever could. Jaxon Reed stands alone, neon rippling across wet pavement, gripping a wallet that means more than cash. It's empty. The woman with ink on her arms, the street artist he barely noticed, has vanished into a crush of bodies. His pride throbs, every nerve is raw, anger and something else. Desire? He runs his thumb over the strange origami flower that's tucked inside, a little piece of Emma Blake left behind as if mocking him. Have you ever lost more than money? His thoughts race, pulse quickens. Ever had someone walk away with your last bit of dignity? The wind mixes salt and sweat. Music echoes from a bar up the block. He can still feel her fingers sliding against his palm, careless yet deliberate. Did she dare him to chase her? Did she want to be caught, or was she running from something bigger? The answer is buried in that flower, in the memory of her eyes, bright, wild, and unafraid. The city feels colder without her in view. He studies the wallet, replaying every second, was it just theft, or a message? If she thought she could steal from me and vanish, she misjudged the man she crossed, Jaxon whispers to himself, vowing to find her. His jaw hardens, heartbeat thundering, mind tangled with questions he isn't ready to admit out loud. The thrill of pursuit is more intoxicating than champagne, more dangerous than rage. Tonight it's not about justice or vengeance, it's about the challenge, the mystery, the woman who slipped through his hands. And somewhere deep down, the chase arouses him, sharp as broken glass. 2 nights earlier, Jaxon stood at his own party, high ceiling, shimmering crystal, the Miami elite smiling, vying for his attention. He felt hollow, isolated in his own kingdom of glass. He watched them circle, envying his fortune, but their words were empty. He escaped through the terrace, staring at city lights, thinking of nothing. Somewhere a few blocks away, Emma Blake wiped paint from her chin. She was finishing a mural in the faded glow of Little Havana, her bare arms streaked with blue and gold. Her laughter carried over the rooftops, low and throaty. She looked alive in a way the party never did. Jackson's memory shifts, the art festival crowd is a blur of color, noise, and heat. There she was, moving fast, eyes scanning but never lingering. For a moment, their gazes caught and collided, a spark that burned through the noise. Security footage later confirmed it, she slipped through bodies, light as smoke, reaching into his jacket. Off she darted, disappearing with his wallet, leaving only a trace of perfume and adrenaline. Have you ever watched someone walk away with something precious and sat frozen, not knowing whether to call for help or give chase? The feeling was electric, frustrating, exhilarating. Jaxon isn't sure which emotion weighs heavier when her eyes lock with his once more, anger or something harder to name. The chase begins not with footsteps but with a pounding heartbeat and a promise, he will find her again. And next time, it won't be on her terms. Emma Blake ditches Miami's scene for the chaos of New Orleans. She moves fast, her heart pounding with that rush you only get when you're in danger and loving every second of it. Money means nothing in the face of survival. She books a cheap hostel bed, sunlight waning behind graffiti-scrawled walls. Water pounds the shower as she scrubs last night's paint from her skin, every drop a small relief. Jackson's men scan her trail, bank cards, camera glimpses, ATM withdrawals. Each ping on his phone brings her closer, and the line between righteous anger and pure obsession starts to blur. He hits the gym harder than usual, fists cracking against padded gloves, sweat streaming as he imagines every way to corner Emma. She flickers in his mind, not as a thief but as a challenge he can't let go. Emma gets the first warning from her sister. The call is short, frantic, they're back. You have to run. She doesn't ask who, they both know. Her past isn't far enough behind her. Emma curls up on her narrow hostel mattress, legs shaking, mind racing to every dark corner memory could offer. She presses a hand to her lips, recalling the accidental brush of Jackson's mouth during their scuffle. The memory sends a shock through her, equal parts thrill and dread. Is she afraid of getting caught, or of being remembered. Jaxon finds Emma's latest location. He's relentless, crossing state lines, mapping every movement, each clue growing more personal. The tension is thick, every missed connection another push to chase, every lead another reason to keep going. Emma feels him catching up, and a part of her doesn't mind the adrenaline spike. What would you do in her place? Would you run harder, or would you turn and face him? Should she risk revealing herself, or keep moving, keep hiding? The cliffhanger is a ping on Jackson's phone, a pinpoint on a rural Florida map, a signal that brings both relief and hesitation. Tonight, the game will change. A storm sweeps the Gulf. Jackson's luxury SUV slides along slick Florida roads, headlights cutting through sheets of rain. He's locked on her last signal, pushing past warning signs and second thoughts. At a battered gas station, Emma stands over a sink, tracing the edges of his business card. Her lips part, caught somewhere between fear and a hunger she can't name. Jaxon appears suddenly, catching her wrist before she can escape. His grip isn't gentle, his voice trembles, words sharp. "You owe me the truth," he says, heat rising between them. Emma spits the story at him, her past, her mistakes, her reasons. Her pain hits him harder than any insult. Thunder rattles the ceiling. Their fight turns physical, bodies barely separated by tension and air. The possibility of a kiss hangs between them, pulsing and undeniable. The small bathroom becomes too close, too hot, neither willing to break away nor give in. Outside, the world pushes back. Police lights flash through the rain-soaked window, someone called in a disturbance. The risk jumps a level. Jaxon stiffens, jaw set, his whole body aware of Emma's every movement. She slides her wrist free, but neither of them move far apart. "If you were standing here, would you walk out the door, or would you stay and face what comes?" The question never escapes Jackson's lips, but it rides the storm between them. He isn't sure what he wants more, answers or contact. He senses Emma feels it too. The cliffhanger arrives with those lights. What started as a private war is now everyone's business. The only way forward is together, ready or not. The chase is about survival now, not just winning. A memory cracks open. Emma, 7 years old, hiding under the kitchen table in New Orleans. She hears shouting and sees a cash-stuffed envelope thrown to the floor. Her father's angry voice, her mother's sobs, a betrayal that shapes everything. That's how Emma learned to keep secrets, run fast, love sparingly. Back to now, Emma and Jaxon crouch behind a freight truck in sticky Florida night. Their breath comes in bursts, every inch of space charged with something tense, setting nerves alight. Emma tells Jaxon the truth in a whisper. She didn't steal for money. She stole to protect herself, to outsmart someone dangerous. Jaxon listens, anger mixing with something softer. Jaxon reaches out, brushing Emma's jaw with his thumb, gentle, almost apologetic. Her tears fall onto his hand, soaking skin, mingling hope and regret. The night closes around them, diesel and heat and heartbeats thumping in unison. Vulnerability fills the air between them. Both know words won't save them, but maybe honesty will. Have you ever trusted someone with the part of yourself you'd never show, hoping they wouldn't run? The audience can feel Emma's fear, Jackson's hesitance, the real stakes rising. The phone vibrates, a blocked number flashes, you're running out of time. It's not a threat, it's a countdown. Hearts race. The secret is unraveling, and everything is about to change. Emma grips Jackson's hand tighter. He's not letting go. Sirens echo over the docks. Emma and Jaxon move together, both tense, breathing hard. They dart between boats, sneakers slapping wet boards, hiding behind crates when the flashlights sweep past. Water laps against wood, mixing with the heavy smell of gasoline and salt. Jaxon glances over, Emma's hair is plastered to her neck, her chest rising with each sharp breath. They crouch behind a stack of lobster cages, pressed close to avoid being seen. Jaxon feels the tremor in her arm. He wants answers, but she's quicker. The wallet isn't just yours, she whispers, voice shaking. I never meant for you to get pulled into this mess. His anger builds. He grabs her shoulder, spins her to face him. You put a target on my back. His face is close, eyes alive with frustration, but something in her gaze stops him. Their bodies touch in the dark, shoulders, knees, lips almost brushing as they argue in hushed voices. A single step away would end it, but neither breaks. Heat rolls off them, emotions clash, pull closer. Jackson's fist lands on the cage behind her, vibrating with mixed rage and craving. It's nearly a kiss, and for a split second they both forget the danger chasing them. Heavy footsteps draw closer. Then, just beyond the edge of the dock, a figure appears, watching everything, waiting in silence. Emma digs her nails into Jackson's arm. The suspense holds. Nothing is safe anymore. The shadow becomes a familiar face, Carmen, Emma's older sister. Tension between them cuts through the humid air, sharper than a knife. Carmen's glare tells Jackson he's not welcome. Her voice is low. You've dragged too much trouble our way already. Emma hisses back, startled and bitter. You left me when I had nothing. Carmen pulls them behind stacks of fishing nets. Someone is following us, she mutters. We have to disappear before they find us all. Her words freeze the blood in Jackson's veins, but Emma is used to betrayal. She swallows hard, cheeks flushed. To dodge attention, they slip into the shallows. Cold water rises to Emma's waist. Jackson tries not to watch, but the moonlight reveals curve and form, bare skin goosebumped. The sisters' whispers melt into splashes. Suddenly, Carmen shouts a warning. Emma grabs Jackson, yanking him down as headlights sweep over the water. Under the surface, their limbs tangle. Jackson's hand slides down Emma's back. The fear fades, laughter bubbles out, quick and breathless, muffled by the river. They surface side by side, hair slick and hearts pounding. Carmen's last words scrape the night, protect her, or get out before sunrise. Jackson's chest aches. He doesn't know which choice scares him more. By midnight, rain pours down in sheets, drumming against the sign of a cheap roadside motel. Emma and Jackson slip inside. Carmen books a room for herself, leaves the two alone. The air in the room is heavy, made thicker by silence and wet clothes. Jackson watches drops trail down Emma's arm. He wants to be angry, but mostly he just wants the truth. Emma pulls towels out of the cupboard, tossing him one. You ever wish you could just drop your life and start over, she asks. Her voice is rough. Jackson sits on the end of the bed, staring at the worn carpet. People see money. They never see me. The power flickers. Lightning lights up their faces. Emma crosses the floor, finds a first aid kit in the drawer. Jackson has a cut above his brow from the dock. She dabs at it, hands steady but soft. He flinches at the sting, not from pain, but from her gentle touch. She's close, focused on his face like she's painting again. Rain gets heavier. Emma lets herself linger, fingers tracing his jaw. Heat grows between them, tension built over days breaking through, lips meeting in a kiss neither one expected. Their bodies come together, breath mingling, sheets tangled in a rush of need and regret. After, they lie in the dark, listening to the rain. No words. Just longing, guilt, the storm outside matching the one inside. Jackson's phone buzzes on the nightstand. He swipes. A voice, deep and cruel, delivers a threat, you've got one last shot. Bring Emma, or lose everything. Jackson's hand finds hers under the blanket. They both tremble. Morning comes in flickers, red and blue light leak through the motel window. Carmen is gone. Tension is thick, a silent wall between Emma and Jackson. The message from the enemy is clear, use your power or watch her get taken. Jackson paces the narrow room, fists clenched. Emma sits at the edge of the bed, knees drawn up, arms around themselves. "We have to fight," she says, but her voice shakes. "I'm tired of running." The fight that follows is harsh, stripped raw. Jaxon struggles to let go of his hurt. Emma demands trust she doesn't feel she deserves. Their voices rise, echoing down the hallway. They crash together again, angry and desperate, hands clutching skin, seeking comfort neither knows how to ask for. Red light spins outside, sirens once again signaling trouble. Emma digs her nails into Jackson's shoulder, kisses wild and salty with tears. Suddenly, loud banging shakes the motel lobby. Emma leaps from the bed, grabbing her bag. Jaxon pulls on jeans, heart in his throat. They peer through the blinds, men with dark jackets moving in. "Stay behind me," Jaxon whispers. They slip into the back hallway, every step full of risk. The walls close in, but they move together. Survival isn't just about escape now. It's about each other. They hold hands, eyes locked, silent understanding passing in the space between. The only thing they know for sure, there's no safe path left. Hallways twist and turn, leading through the guts of the old motel. Jackson's mind sharpens, old skills come back, picking locks, memorizing exits. Emma thinks fast, using back routes, listening for footsteps and radios. They round a corner, ducking into a storage closet as boots thunder past the door. Emma peeks out, signals Jaxon to follow. He slips through, heart racing. They reach the parking lot just as a group moves to block off the main entrance. Rain turns the blacktop slick, pooling in shallow puddles. Jaxon keeps low and finds an old sedan with keys inside. He hotwires it fast. Emma, never far, draws their chase away, running into the glare of headlights, yelling, drawing all the eyes so Jaxon can slip the car behind a dumpster. She throws herself into the passenger seat. Tires squeal. They speed off, hearts pounding, adrenaline running high. It isn't until miles outside of town, in empty farmland, that Emma breaks. She lets the fear out, sobbing, clinging to Jaxon, all the barriers dropping at once. He pulls her close. Kisses her hair. Their mouths find each other, bruised and greedy, desperate to feel alive. In the darkness of the car, their hands roam, skin on skin, the world forgotten except for each other. She whispers, "I've never felt this before. It scares me." He promises, "We'll get out. I'm not letting you go." A message pings. Emma's phone, cracked screen, the text glowing, "You can't outrun the past. Sunset is your deadline." Jaxon squeezes her hand. The sun is rising, but the danger is closing in. Jaxon and Emma hole up in a shotgun safe house near Pensacola, barely speaking. The night is thick and every movement loud, their bodies still humming from their escape and the bruised tenderness that came after. When Carmen slides through the door, her eyes are red from worry and exhaustion. She confesses, voice nearly a whisper, that she's been forced to feed their enemy information. Threats against her life were too much to fight alone. The moment twists fast. A pounding at the door shakes them all. Men break in, masks pulled tight, voices cold. Carmen tries to help, but she's stuck, torn between blood and fear. Jaxon grabs Emma, shielding her with his body as chaos erupts, furniture overturned, shouting, the pop of a gun firing in a struggle. Jaxon takes a hit in his arm, Emma catches him as he stumbles, breath ragged in her ear. In the early hours with the enemy gone, Emma and Jaxon crash together. Anger and relief and betrayal become physical, clumsy, hungry, needing to feel alive. Their embrace is rough, full of pain and the aftermath of nearly losing everything. As dawn spreads along the window, Jackson's wound throbs and Carmen sits in tears, the family she tried to save now more fractured than ever. Before drifting off, Jaxon recalls the enemy's words, "She's lied before. Ask her who she really is." Doubt lingers. Emma hides Jaxon in a forgotten art studio near the bay. The room smells of turpentine and years of dust, stacks of old canvases line the walls, colors faded but sharp against the gloom. She finds bandages and cleans his wound, hands shaking more from emotion than fear. In the silence, the truth cracks open. Emma admits her family stole evidence years ago, proof that could sink a legendary business family. That evidence lies hidden, painted into canvases by her father before he disappeared. The room feels smaller as Jaxon listens. She confesses, the wallet theft was an order, a forced move by their enemy. She was desperate, blackmailed with threats to his life. The confession burns in both their chests. Emma's words come in bursts, fighting back tears. Jackson's trust falters, but the connection doesn't weaken. In the night, anger and forgiveness meld, paint smears on skin as she cups his face, lips hunting for comfort, nails leaving trails along his back. Words fade and all that matters is bodies and breath. After, Emma stands over a pile of old artwork, searching. Jaxon picks up his wallet, fingers brushing a thin, faded photograph wedged inside the lining. There's a string of numbers along one edge, a code only Emma's father would understand. This is the last clue we have, she tells Jaxon, eyes shining. The studio glows with the promise of answers. Emma and Jaxon drive non-stop to New Orleans, hiding in the shadows lest old enemies catch sight of them. Emma follows clues in the photo, eyes scanning walls in her father's old studio on Royal Street. They spot a mural redone years earlier, a vine painted with a missing leaf. Emma scrapes her nail through the plaster, revealing a tiny, rusted key. They slip through the city to a bank off Magazine Street. Using the key, they unlock a deposit box stuffed with documents, old letters, and faded photos. The papers prove fraud and theft, secrets big enough to bring down the powerful family hunting Emma. She realizes the price she's paid wasn't just safety, her whole life has been marked by secrets she never chose. Jaxon can barely look at Emma, torn up by the lies but driven by desire. In a dim alley behind the bank, they collide, skin on skin, lips searching, the urgency of survival fueling their need. Hands grip the cold metal of the door, voices muffled, and all the pain becomes a promise to keep fighting. Suddenly, the sound of heavy boots draws close. Their enemy's men have found them, escape is blocked. Jaxon grabs Emma's hand. Carmen's voice comes through a burner phone, fear and hope tangled together, meet me at the old river pier. One shot to survive. Thunder hammers the pier. Carmen waits, soaked and shaking. Emma and Jaxon arrive, rain streaming down, hearts racing, there's no safety, only the moment. Carmen confesses her final betrayal, she gave the enemy a fake version of the evidence to buy time. Her true loyalty shines through at the last, putting herself in danger for her sister. Men flood the pier, shouting demands. Emma and Jaxon move back to back, nowhere to hide, ready to fight for freedom and each other. Action explodes, Emma throws paint canisters, clouds of color swirling through the air, giving them cover. She pulls Jaxon through a gap in the boards as Carmen faces their pursuers, buying seconds that mean the world. Once safe in the empty night, Jaxon and Emma's relief breaks into wild connection, clothes plastered to their bodies, mouths meeting hungrily, fingers gripping skin slick with rain. Their need is desperate, claiming a moment of joy in all the danger. Breathless, Jaxon finally digs through the coded evidence. As the lights fade, the papers reveal a secret neither saw coming. Emma is the child of a rival dynasty, the bloodline hidden for decades. The truth stings and stirs every memory. Jackson's world spins, and Emma's sense of self shakes loose. As morning creeps over the gulf, Emma watches light crawl across the floor of an empty apartment. The final truth is out, she was born to the family that once waged war against the world she ran from, her parentage hidden for safety. Jaxon sits on the bed, torn. Does he use this secret to end the fight, or keep Emma safe and lose her forever? Emma leans against the window, arms wrapped tight. She asks Jaxon to leave for her sake. Words are hard. The goodbye isn't clean, he touches her cheek, lips meeting in one last confession, tears mingling with salt and warmth. The rooftop glows with sunrise, washing them in hope and grief. Promises are whispered over skin, clinging hands begging for more time. But time runs thin. Jaxon leaves. The city carries on, but something essential is lost. Emma stands in the quiet, letting sorrow and strength mingle. Her life will go on, she will paint, fight, and rebuild, no matter what comes next. Months fade like water. At a crowded art show in Miami, Jaxon stands near a new mural, eyes drawn to the colors, the familiar lines. Emma's gaze shines from the wall, a secret painted only for him. Beneath it, a tiny folded flower and numbers only he would notice. No words, just the truth in silence. Sometimes, the truth is the space between two hearts, unspoken, unforgettable, undying. If this story hit you right in the heart, or if you've ever lost someone, only to find a new meaning in silence, don't just let it fade away. Tap subscribe, because there's more where this came from, and every twist is different. Drop a comment below, have you ever kept a secret that changed everything? Or had to walk away so someone you love could finally breathe? Hit like if you want more stories that dig deep and stick with you long after the video ends. And share this with a friend who needs to believe there's always a second chance. You make this community what it is, and your voice truly matters, so let's write the next chapter together. Thanks for being here. Until next time, keep searching for your truth, and keep your heart open for the stories still waiting to be told.